it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. Please put in the chat where you're from and who you are. When we start reviewing the news articles, if you want to look at our Facebook page, just click here and you can follow the articles along as we go. See you in a moment. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Tech for Senior Live, and I'm Ron Brown, and I'll be your host today. This is November the 9th. We have a great panel today for you to go over all the news of the day. We'll be with you for the next hour. I'll be introducing our group in just a moment, but just to let everyone know that who are we? Well, we're a group of seniors who like to talk about tech. We like to go over the news of the week. But our main show, which is, of course, in our fourth year now, I think we're up to 188 episodes, is our Monday show. And it is actually a Zoom meeting, and it occurs on Monday. It's a lot of fun, and we sure invite you to come. Let me just put up our website here. This is our, excuse me, is our website. You can get all the information for our Zoom meeting. And we do get a lot of guests coming. And so come and join us on Monday. We have a heck of a good time, and we have some great presentations. Now, that's our Monday show. This show is not a Zoom meeting. So for all those people who are over on our Zoom account that have logged in today waiting for the show, we're not there. We broadcast this out to our YouTube channel and Facebook, and that's through a software called StreamYard. And so we're not over there. If you're on our Zoom meeting, we'll see you Monday. If you are there and don't know how to get here, just go to our website and you'll see there's a button there. It says take you to the meeting, a big red button. Click that and it'll take you right to the right spot. So you should be able to find it and log in. Now, the other thing that's different about this show over our Monday show is we don't see who's out there. We have no idea who's listening. It could just be the four of us talking, which is fine. We like to talk, and we'll be here for an hour and we could talk about all the news by ourselves. But we really like to know who's out there, who's listening to us. So if you could put in the chat who you are, and maybe what the weather is. The topic we're going to talk about today before the news is about starting video editing. And maybe you could put in there when you're mentioning your name, do you do any video editing? And what software do you do? We had some people ask us how to start, what would you do to start video editing? So we're going to talk a little bit about that at the very beginning before we get to the news. So that's where we are, and we'll go over you and we'll acknowledge you in just a minute. And if you are new and this is your first time listening, please let us know, and we'll give you the big round of applause. And also, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It really does help the channel and helps us keep going. So if you click that like, it really helps us. And if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button as well. All right, let me come along and introduce everybody. We've assembled an international cast, and I say international because, of course, I'm from Canada. I live on Vancouver Island, which is a little island off the west coast of Canada. I live sort of up in the upper 2/3 of the island called Comox, and it's on the east side of the island. It's a rainy day today. It's cold, and it's going to get even colder. So winter is coming, and that's where we are right now, and that's where I live. And Of course, in a warmer part of the world, in a different country, far, far away, is Huey Poplick in Florida, Bradenton, Florida. But I don't have to raise my voice because he can hear me through modern telecommunication, right, Huey? I don't have to holler. Well, you've got hearing aids. That's not because you're so far away, though, is it? How are you doing, Huey?
Good. That isn't hearing aid. It's a bone conducting headset.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyway,
And how are you? How's your week going? How are you doing?
Florida,
Rose.
just south of Tampa Bay, and
Mhm.
it's 85. It's as high as it's going to get today, and it's just a nice sunny day. And
So
I'm
are
doing
you
fine.
you're doing fine? So are you seeing all sorts of Canadian license plates down there now?
Absolutely. I was right behind somebody from Ontario yesterday.
All right. There you go. Now, from Los Lunas, New Mexico, of course, we have our security expert, a man of many talents. He's been with the show since we started. He's our sort of our right or left-hand man. He's the person who keeps us safe, who's a prolific producer of YouTube videos. He not only does security expert, but he's an expert in a lot of different things related to technology. Heck of a nice guy and a great asset on our talk show because he's a witty sort of guy too. So that of course is Mr. Bob Gustisha.
Good morning. It
There
is
you
a good
go.
morning. It was a windy night. I had my chimes going off the walls over here. I was half tempted in the middle of the night to get up and take them off because, boy, they were making a racket.
Well, I got to tell you, Bob, I had a security issue this week, big time security issue, and it involved a fight. Did you hear about it?
Nope.
This and was on my deck. There was I saw evidence of a rat, so I put my rat trap out. And about 10:30 at night, the security camera went on, and I looked, and there's this massive raccoon on the deck, and the raccoon is trying to fish the dying rat out of the rat trap. And there is a massive commotion on our deck, and I had to when I went out there, this was a massive raccoon, like it was big. It did not think I was very terrifying, even though I was screaming and jumping up and down. And it took a long time for it to decide to leave. And anyway, so that was my big commotion on the deck with my security.
So we're going to see that video on Monday?
Yeah, I think we try to have a nice calm show. I don't want to show death
Oh,
and dying on Monday.
I had 4 raccoons in my camera earlier this week, and I think I posted it. And also, my coyote keeps showing up. He was showed up again
I
last
saw
night,
that. Yeah,
right
yeah,
behind me. Yeah, I had
yeah,
another picture of it last night. So
yeah. But
he's staying in the neighborhood.
this raccoon, the scary part about this raccoon, it didn't look like it was that afraid of me. I was more afraid of it. All right, let me introduce the fourth member of our team today, a man who everybody knows because he's such a nice guy. He's also the president of APCUG and also the treasurer. He holds the money. He is our music director for our show. He's an all-around great guy. He's married to a wonderful girl by the name of Carol, who just adores him and says he's such a nice fella. And that, of course, is Mr. Ray Baxter from Pine, Arizona.
Ron, you got to cut that out. You're making me blush.
mhm, mhm.
All right, Huey. Anybody listening to us today? Are we just
Yeah,
blabbing
if
along
you'll
here?
put the thing down that says our website.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, we get rid of that. There we go.
There we go.
Bernard, Sterling Heights Computer Club, 54 degrees bright and sunny. Murray is here. Good morning, Murray. Good morning from Victoria, BC, where it's cloudy and showers are forecast later on. I could not find the show on Facebook, but I will switch over there to follow the posts when the show starts. And thank you, Murray, Murray sent some a news article on, and Murray usually does about once a week. He sent, which I really appreciate. And if any of our listeners out there see a specific news article you want us to talk to, just fire it over to me, and I'll post it on our Facebook page, and we'll discuss it. Stu from Dunedin, Florida. Thanks, Stu. 84 degrees. Liz from Ohio, 50 degrees and cloudy. Murray says, I mostly use Pinnacle Studio for video editing, 24 to 26 for editing the video, and 15 for creating DVDs. That's a good one. Thanks for letting us know that, Murray. Sheila, good morning, everyone from Sheila, Cowichan Valley, Southern Vancouver Island. I think, is this first time Sheila's been on?
I don't recognize the name.
Let's give her a big round of applause anyway, okay? Because I think that I know that Cowichan Valley is, of course, on Vancouver Island. That's quite famous for wine, and so welcome, Sheila. Thank you for coming and listening. If it is your first time, please come back. And if you've been here along and we just are too old to remember you, I'm sorry. All right. Steve says Kirkland, Washington, and 40 degrees. Jeff, Long Beach, California, 64 degrees. JJ, sunny and cold, 49 degrees, and Waukegan. Sally Ann, beautiful day, Kirkland, Washington. Edie, 50 degrees, Prescott, Arizona, heading to 60 degrees. Murray says, we were camping in a park in northern New York State. We were asleep and we were woken by a horrible racket. I think we missed the punchline. Gerald says, Kirkland overcast, 50 degrees. Sheila McIver, thank you. I think she was the first time. That's great.
Yep.
No,
Nope.
she says she's been here before. Okay. Well,
must be getting older.
I've been following you all. We're not perfect. I'm old. Oh well. Steve says Mojave, MKV, Toolnix, and Adobe Premiere are used for video editing. Okay.
Yeah, Mojave. Bob? Didn't you at one time use that a lot?
What?
The Mojave.
No.
Mojave.
No. I've used my program since before it changed its name. It used to be Screencast-O-Matic.
Right.
Now it's called ScreenPal.
No, I'm going way back when can't think of his name, from Utah. He used to represent one of the companies, and they did a video program. I remember some videos that you did, but that was a long time ago.
Murray says, my wife was imagining headlines, Canadian couple killed by escaped lion. It turned out to be two raccoons fighting over a bucket of minnows that people next to us had left on their picnic table. They can get pretty nasty, those raccoons.
Yep.
Bob says, Bellevue, Washington, clear, but more rain on the way. All right, great. All right, now let's move ahead. I wanted to just come down here. The article that came out today, this week, said Final Cut Pro uses Apple's new M3 chip to improve face and object tracking. Final Cut Pro, of course, is an Apple video editing software, but that was the article that was there. And their new M3 chip, of course, will be designed to make this work much better. But that's the news article. But what happened this week is in the comment section on our website, someone left a note saying, I would like to start video editing. Do you have any suggestions? And I thought, okay, well, we're going to talk about that news article anyway. And I thought, we all do video. The four of us all do video editing. We're all do it every day. And I thought we could maybe pass on a few tips of wisdom to people wanting to start maybe doing some simple video editing. Now, we could make this is not a show about video editing, and we're only going to talk about this for about 10 minutes. Everyone gets a few comments to put in, then we'll get on and do the news. But I thought it just might be fun to put everyone put their few cents in, and then we can get on and do the news articles. So let me just quickly, I want to start a couple of things I wanted to say, and then we'll move on. So for the person who wants to just start and edit some videos, it really depends on what you're talking about. But maybe you just want to take some movies of your family, your kids, and you maybe want to make some simple editing and send those on to some of your friends. And one of the things that you need to know is that Google Photos actually has pretty advanced video editing capability. And I hadn't looked at this for a while, but I got it out this morning and was playing with it. I was really impressed with the editing you can do just in Google Photos. So when you take your video with usually you probably use your camera, your phone to take it, and you do your video editing, it's amazing what you can do in Google Photos. And in Google Photos, of course, is free, and you would have it on your phone anyway. So that would be my first comment. My second comment is that one of the things that when you do the editing and you do come up with your image or your video, I would encourage you to think about getting putting it on YouTube if you want to share it amongst family and friends. Now, you don't actually a YouTube, people don't understand this, but YouTube is free. You can upload as many videos as you want. It's not that difficult to do, and just search YouTube, watch a YouTube video on how to start a YouTube channel. If you have a Google account, you can certainly have a YouTube channel, and then you can upload and you can share it amongst family and friends. And I just wanted to bring that out because it's a fun thing to do. So those are a couple of thoughts I have. Huey, for someone just starting out, maybe just wanting to do some simple stuff, you got any tips for them?
Oh, one thing, if they do a YouTube channel, YouTube has some built-in editing
That's right.
capabilities.
Exactly. That's a good
very, very, very simple. But usually, most people, all you want to do is cut off maybe some things at the beginning and at the end, and that can be done right. In YouTube.
Yeah.
Bob's going to talk about another one that I've used, so I'm not going to talk about that. But I use Camtasia, which is a high-end video editing program.
Right.
I got it free at one of the APCUG conferences many years ago, and I just got on their maintenance contracts. All I do is pay a maintenance every year, and I get the new versions. So I saved a lot of money that way. And then Snagit, which is from the same company, TechSmith, they have some video editing
That's true.
abilities too.
Right.
And then there's a free one that a lot of the user groups talk about. And for the life of me right now, I can't remember the name of it, but it's one of the, it was either shareware or it was. Are
you talking about Filmora?
No, it's totally free. And that's out there too. So there's a lot of video editing programs out there.
Right. Okay. Bob, you use one that was for free. You've used it for a long time.
Yeah, well, they have both a free and a paid version. I use the paid version, but their free version is excellent, and that's called Screen Pal. It was way back when called Screencast-O-Matic.
Right.
That was a hard name, and they finally changed it to something simple, Screen Pal. But they have an excellent free program. What I like about Screen Pal is the fact that editing is easy because it's a single track. All the others have split tracks between video and audio, and some of them even have 3 and 4 tracks. In Screen Pal, it's one track, and you do all your editing within that one track. So for that person who doesn't want to get confused with all the tracks and the overlays and all the other things, it's a simple way. You have all seen my videos. That's what I use for editing is Screen Pal.
Right.
So if you think my videos are okay, then maybe you ought to give that program a try. Start with the free version. you'll be surprised because almost anything you can do in the paid is already available in their free version.
There's
good
one
idea.
very similar. There's one similar to it. It's called Screencastify.
Yes.
Right. Bob, is the Screen Pal, is it screenpal.com? Because it used to be screencast-o-matic.com. Is it screenpal.com?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So people can just find it. That's a really good choice. And with the single track, it keeps the confusion, down to a minimum, right? Because,
Yep.
it's a bit, can get a bit crazy sometimes. Ray, now Ray he went to university. He went to college to learn how to do video editing. We didn't know those went to college to do this. So you're the expert.
I wouldn't go quite that far to say I went to university. I went to the local community college for a summer class on OpenShot, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But no, not university. There's two programs I use, and there's two different categories of what I like to edit. I wonder how many listening in today are like me. We're back in the 90s and maybe into the early 2000s when you had a video camera that you'd carry around, a Super 8 perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
The
That's
8
a long
millimeter
time
thing.
ago.
Would you have maybe on a 2-hour tape a year's worth of videos? You can go from a beach scene to the snow in one click, easy move. So what I do with those is I break them down into individual clips, and so they're then filed by the year and the event that was taking place. And for that, I use this very simple, very easy to learn program called Avidemux. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's Avidemux. It's free. It's open source, and it only has the one track, as Bob was pointing out, and it's very easy to use. Now, for things that are a little bit more sophisticated, where I want more features, I use OpenShot. And that's the class I took. It was a 3 or 4 week
Oh, okay.
class, and that gives me the ability to do fades in and fades out, transitions, and things like that. I use that. I will download quite a few full concerts of the music I like from YouTube, and then I break them up into individual songs and performances and file them by that name. And then those get put on my Plex server. So when I have friends over and they say, "Hey, Ray, do you have anything by X?" I will pull up a listing of everything I have by that particular performer and all the songs I found. But instead of having to watch an entire concert and fast forward and try to find where that is, I just bring up that one individual clip.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it on the website. Oh, it's a free video editing software. Looks good, eh?
And let me tell you one more thing where this one I think shines beyond the others. The creator of OpenShot has on YouTube a whole series of tutorials, maybe 12 or 14, starting with the very basic and then going into the much more complicated things to do. So you can watch the creator, who obviously knows the program the best, giving you very well thought out tutorials.
And that's OpenShot, right? OPEN.
OpenShot.com. Yes.
OpenShot.com. Okay, so if people are interested in that, then that's a good idea.
Also has a tutorial
Sure.
of the.
I bet you it's not by the creator.
Right.
Well, it's by the people that work for the company. So,
all right, then that's just as good.
Yeah. So that's good. So those are some good ideas for people. Huey, do we have any more comments? JJ says, I've used Pinnacle for years, but now using Cyberlink Power Director for videoing. There's a lot out there. Murray Strom says, Final Cut Pro is not free, nor is Pinnacle for that matter. No, Final Cut's a professional video editing. JJ says, I teach Adobe Premiere Element at my club at Lake Country Computer Enthusiasts. Murray says, the problem with YouTube is you have to watch out for copyright violations. Right. But if you're putting, just put your own videos up, you'll be fine with that.
If you create it yourself and don't include any music on it, you're pretty safe that it's not going to be copyrighted because you're creating it. It's when you start adding music to it, that's when you run into a problem. Okay.
Even to the point, I took some pictures at my nephew's wedding, and of course they had the first dance of the new couple.
Oh, right.
And there's music. Boy, did I get a ding on that one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but YouTube has music that a music library that has copyright-free music that you can use.
Yeah, but some of them also have restrictions that you have to mention who you got the music from,
Right.
so on and so forth. So
Right. Right.
the best and safest way, don't put music in it.
That's true. You don't see any music in my videos. None.
Or if you have the videos on a Plex server and you just share it with who you want to for family and friends,
True.
there are no copyright issues.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Bob says, any suggestions for video editing in Linux?
Yeah,
we got one coming up. They got one coming up in a
Okay.
in one of the comments.
Okay. Murray says that EDN-Live is free and works on all platforms. It is also, it's easy but pretty powerful. And I guess that's KDN-Live. KD's, that's Linux. So KDN-Live. So this must be a Linux one. So that's a good choice then, I guess.
Oh, wait a minute. I got another one here.
Such as what?
And Murray says, Avidi Mux is available for Linux. Oh, BSD, Mac OS, and Microsoft Windows, and under GNU, blah, 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 blah. And it's free.
Really good for basic learning.
Good. I got dinged at our church. A lot of my videos, the music is very important. Yeah, it is. It's a problem. It's a problem. All right, let's get on with the news. We want to add some.
When you put things up to YouTube, if it's a new channel, you have to have certain amount of visitors depending on how long the video is. So those things are all laid out on YouTube itself. Short videos you can always upload. You can also use your camera and create shorts and send those directly up from your camera to YouTube.
Absolutely. Bob, you are a big Walmart Plus guy, and I am getting more excited about that because they keep adding and adding and adding. And will they be beating Amazon? Maybe. So tell us what's happening tomorrow.
Tomorrow the store starts with their Black Friday deals. Walmart has already, since the 8th of this month, for those online who are Walmart Plus users, had their Black Friday. They just started a week before Amazon's going to do theirs. So
all right,
I do my shopping. I am not married to either of the two, since right now I have both, and sometimes I use any of them because I can get it better somewhere else.
Right.
eBay is another place that quite often I wind up, hey, my product actually came from eBay, because
well, the two things that Walmart's doing, at least recently, was Paramount Plus now is included in which is like, that's a biggie. That is a really biggie. And that's in there.
Which is the big reason, or one of the big reasons why people use Amazon,
Exactly.
Well, you're getting it with Walmart Plus.
That's right. And they have this crazy good cell phone plan. So they've got they've got wireless communication. They've got that. It's lots of good things. We're gonna come back and we're gonna do a show. We're gonna do more and more about this, because
what is the price of Walmart Plus, Bob?
Almost $100.
Okay, but considerably less than Amazon.
Yeah, about a third less.
Yeah.
Bob, so 10. What is this all about? 10 phrases you
should never use without knowing their meaning, and these are things that people use all the time, but you're really zinging somebody else when you're using those.
Oh.
Or consider it a little kinder to those you communicate with by understanding when you use these pat phrases.
So, does anyone know what the word Luddite means? If I said Huey was a Luddite, what would that be insulting to Huey? This was on the radio the other day. This was
I think so. I think it's dumb and uninformed.
No, it's not. It's actually very interesting. The being a Luddite is anti technology, all right? And the Luddite was a movement that formed in England just at the very early part of the Industrial Revolution. And they went around and they were breaking up factories and machinery, probably because of the way of life that they were doing that was destroying. And in fact, the British Parliament passed an anti-Luddite movement sort of law, and Luddites were hung. And it was there was a lot of persecution and so on and so forth. There's a period of time in British history where Luddites were persecuted and hung because of this belief that they were anti-technology people. So just an interesting, it was on the news the other day. I was listening to this as I was going to out for the day, and it was interesting. But that's what a Luddite, if someone calls you a Luddite, that means that it's you're
They
anti.
were 19th century English textile workers who opposed the use of certain
That's
type
right. That's right. Yeah.
of saving machinery. Right.
Luddites. So you can use that if you see someone who's just hates technology. You can call them a Luddite. All right, Ray.
Well,
That's
since last week we talked about the Big Apple event and the new M3 chips that are going to be in many of their devices. So this one jumped out at me, and the article goes on to point out that the MacBook Pro and some 24-inch M3 iMacs are being shipped with the old operating system instead of it having the latest one. It's using the outdated Ventura, which was the problem for the is they cannot easily upgrade it. They run into problems. So the article concludes these are older laptops that have been sitting in a warehouse since July 2023. But the good news is they can be updated, but the owner has to install the assistant for the M3. But the articles at the end says Apple needs to do better.
So I guess we want to make sure we buy a MacBook Pro that's just being made, right?
Yes,
you want to get the new one. And they're expensive.
Very,
very expensive. Yes, USB cables. Yes, Ray, tell us about.
Do you remember earlier this year I gave a presentation on Tech for Seniors Monday event on what to know about USB-C, and I pointed out that one of the issues right now is you cannot tell the capabilities of a particular USB cable just by looking at it because they have different speeds and other things. And I said at the time, and I'm quoting myself, this can be corrected by requiring the manufacturers to provide proper and permanent labeling on their cables. Well, guess what? The Elgato company must have seen my video. Because they are one of the first manufacturers that actually have the bandwidth and the USB type imprinted on the connectors.
Well done, Ray. Well done. Can you spread the word a little more? Because that's a huge.
Everybody watches Tech for Senior.
Well, exactly. There's more people got to watch Tech for Senior, right? Because
both Ron and I have products from that same company.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we both have a Stream Deck, and then Ron also has a camera from them.
But how many times have I gone and I've got my GoPro or something, and I grab a Type-C cable to connect to my computer, and I go to hit the link and it won't upload and it won't connect to the computer. It's the cable, because I go and get the right cable. It's still the USB-C, plug it in, and it works, right? It's the cable. And it must drive tech people crazy. I mean, how many calls come in? My GoPro won't upload, it won't work. It's the cable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I bought some fast charging cables and plugs, and they're now sitting in a drawer, and I wouldn't be able to tell which one is which. By the way, Ron.
Oh, Michael Daniels, thank you so much. Finally got a chance to check you guys out. Thanks, Michael, for the donation. You're a good guy.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Michael.
And I really enjoyed your show yesterday. That was a great show. I really enjoyed Heather's talk. Now I can't see my article here. Or sorry. Oh no, this is Ray. What's really going on with electric car? Have you got that? Can you see?
I can see it.
Can you? Is that what? Okay, that's what you're showing there. Okay. Got it. Go ahead.
And it's a short article, but I think it's worth a read if you're an individual or a family that's considering an electric vehicle. And basically, it states that while the EV revolution is happening, it's slower than many car makers had promised. And again, the issue I think that we all know, many consumers are reluctant to consider an electric vehicle because of the expensive price and as well as the issues related to charging.
Exactly. And I think this is yours as well.
Yep, last one. Did you know that Google has a traffic light system?
No.
So who knew that Google started what they call Project Greenlight? Very appropriate name. Back in 2021 in Hamburg, Germany, and also in Seattle, Washington. And they're now expanding it to more than a dozen other major cities. And basically, it's a system that makes the intersections where traffic lights are more efficient and having less pollution. It uses artificial intelligence to optimize and alter intersections in order to minimize vehicles stopping and starting. And the light changing is based on constantly changing and updated traffic patterns. And it can trigger up to 30% fewer stops with about a 10% reduction in pollution.
So Ray, I got a comment on that. Do you think that they have cameras in the lights, and do you think the cameras are taking images of the license plates, and then Google is selling the advertising to you as you drive by because they know what stores you're going by, and increasing their ad revenue by that? Do you have any suspicious thoughts on this?
You are really a conspiracy theorist, aren't you?
Okay, I'm just throwing that out, but good one. All right, that's the end of yours, right?
Yes, for now. Yep.
Okay, we'll add that, and then I'll come down. Huey, chat.
Yeah, how AI is transforming the retail, how this holiday season and beyond, more and more stores and companies are using AI to do their inventory, to do projections on how certain things are going to sell, how many they need, and based on what they have in supply, what they have to charge, and so on. So you're going to see a lot more AI using in usage by the stores to be able to guess what we're going to buy.
All right, there you go. And let's see, this is yours as well.
Yeah, Brave, which is a browser, introduces Leo, an artificial intelligence assistant that can help with all sorts of tasks, including some real-time stuff. Brave is getting to be one of the major players as a browser, and having AI built into it, it should make it quite interesting and worth a look.
I just installed it this morning, and I'm actually using Brave for our show because I was having problems with Google not being able to see everybody because I just got a blank screen instead of their picture. And Brave seems to be doing just fine. I have not yet had a chance to check out Leo and see how it works, but that's something I'll be working on and looking at after the show.
So, Bob, I guess one of the things we should tell everyone, maybe they don't know this, but you can have multiple browsers on your computer. You don't have to just have one, right?
Is that
Yeah.
right? I didn't know that.
I have, I think 6 or 7 of them.
Exactly.
You can also not only have them on your system, but you can actually be running them at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and when things don't work anymore, then you'll find out that, oh my goodness, look at all the resources, all these things that you're running in the background. So be careful.
Absolutely.
Huey, Spotify redesign. What's going on with this?
Spotify's redesigned TV app works more like your phone. There is a Spotify app for your TV, but it apparently had a lot of shortcomings. They've just updated it, but I didn't even realize they had one for the TV because I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and sometimes I turn it on when I go to bed at night, and I can set the TV to shut off at a certain time, and so I like to use it. And I use Spotify to listen to those podcasts. So I'm going to try it and see what I can do with
Good
it.
one. Yeah, I didn't know Spotify had an app for a TV. I didn't know that, but that's a good one. I'll have to install it and see. Huey says, "What's this about?"
Quantum startup Photonic raises 137 million CAD and strikes strategic partnership with Microsoft. Microsoft put in $100 million into this company. So we'll have to see what that's going to be. And it's for making small chips. So the industry keeps developing.
Amazing. Exclusive details about Humane's AI pin.
Yeah, the Humane's AI pin. You may have seen the talk, the tech talk or TED's talk on it, and then at one of the fashion shows, one of the major models was wearing one where you can hold out your hand and it will you can read. It doesn't have a screen. You can read it on your hand, and it's coming out. It's going to be announced, I believe, today. But the leak is that it's going to cost $699, but it also costs you $24 a month.
Okay. All right.
But it's using AI.
I can't really talk for the fashion designer. This person's wearing a sweatshirt and a jacket so he could wear his pin.
That's a female too, by the way.
Oh my goodness! Never mind. I'll anything.
So since this is coming up to big travel season, this was an interesting article this morning about 100 tourists who fell into an online hotel fraud.
Yep.
This is a hotel in India, but they lost all their money. And the article, this is actually a good article, which you can read through, and it talks about the 10 things you want to be careful with for fraud when booking a hotel. And I guess the reason I brought this up is because be very, very careful. If you're booking hotels online, you really probably want to watch this article because it's going to give you some of the things you need to watch out for, and be very careful because you can get scammed, right, Bob? It's a bad one. So it just since we're moving into a travel season, I thought this was a good one. So I'm not going to go through all the 10 tips it gives you, but this is a good article. Just click on it and you can look at that. Now this is interesting. Follow up on sort of Ray's article. When is 8 gigs of RAM not 8 gigs of RAM? And Apple says 8 gigs of RAM on an M3 MacBook is similar to 16 on a Windows PC. And for those of you who haven't seen the video that I made about Apple devices, you should watch it. And and I guess the new M3 chip is a very interesting chip, and it's very fast. And Apple makes their own chips. So this is their claim to fame anyway. So when you're looking and ordering a custom order to some device, you may, and you say, well, it's only got 8 gigabits of RAM. Again, you probably want to think more like 16 as far as a PC goes.
I'd say it's a good ding at Microsoft by Apple, and I'm sure that Microsoft reciprocate in some fashion.
Do you think they're gonna do? I really remember those Microsoft Apple ads they had. They were on about 10 years ago. Remember when they had those two guys duking it out? One was out. They were so funny. Oh man, they were funny.
I'm sure there'll be a comeback on this.
I think so. Yeah. So Samsung's Galaxy Unpacked event 2024 might take place. This is the S24 that's coming out. Probably will be in January. And this is about the event.
Yeah, I posted an article further down. I don't know that we'll get to it or not, but the Samsung is saying that they're going to put in their phones, they're going to have built into it a chip that will be doing AI right into the phone, and probably the S24 will take advantage of that.
So Huey, just to give notice to everybody, I think the S24 is my new phone. I think 2024 will be the end of my Google phone, and I'm going to be moving to the 24. I really do think this is going to be an amazing phone. Microsoft. So Huey, this is yours. Microsoft is.
Yeah, some people don't like or don't want to have OneNote or OneDrive. Sorry, OneDrive in Windows, and they don't want to shut it off. And when you go to shut it off, now it's going to come up and ask you why, and you need to explain it. And one of the things is I don't know what OneDrive is. It's one of the choices.
All right. Hey, we got comments. Probably got some comments. We're moving into the last 15 minutes.
No, just from Murray.
You don't know what OneDrive is. Maybe you shouldn't be owning technology.
Murray says, are you going to explain why some of these aren't available? No, I do that every week and I'm tired of doing it. The Canadian government needs to solve the problem. Photonic head office in Coquitlam Beach. Oh, really? Canada, a bit east of Vancouver. Oh, really? Photonics head office is in good one, Marie. Is that it, Huey?
Yes.
All right. Let's keep going then. Now, why did I put YouTube is Google's fastest growing product with the highest retention rate.
That's YouTube TV.
Oh, that's YouTube TV, right, is the fastest growing product.
It's their streaming service that I subscribe to.
Me too.
I like their unlimited built-in DVR. Their schedule is really good. I'm real happy with them.
As most people are, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's why it says a highest retention rate.
Yep.
Now, just to let everyone know, this is only available in the United States. So YouTube TV is not available in Canada, or I think it's only available in the United States. Huey, OpenAI. Yeah,
there was about 24 hours that OpenAI or ChatGPT was not available, and at first the president or CEO of OpenAI said that it was because of their new announcements and people trying to find out about it, but it turns out it was a DOS or DOD.
Denial of service.
Yeah, denial of service, DOS, where they were just being bombarded.
Really?
And so a lot of times if you went to them to ask a question, it would say our servers are busy. And it really wasn't busy. They were just getting pounded.
Can you just roll down here? Oh, yes. This came out this morning. Steve Wozniak had a possible stroke in Mexico, and of course he was the co-founder of Apple. And this came out this morning, and it's just a news article, and I thought everyone knows Steve Wozniak. And I guess he's retired, and he lives. I don't know whether he's holidaying. I think he lives part-time down in Mexico, and he went to the hospital. So more to come on that.
Yeah, I have an autographed book of his, autographed by him at one of the trade shows I went to, and he signed it right there for me. It was really kind of neat.
Yeah, I think everybody pretty much liked him if they met Steve Wozniak. I think they liked him. Nice man. And okay, now Amazon wants to be your doctor with 24/7 on-demand healthcare for just $9 a month, or 99 or 99. Is that included in Prime?
No, it's not included. But if you're a Prime
if you're
customer, then you get the special price. It's more expensive otherwise.
Want anytime access to on-demand virtual healthcare nationwide, or the ability to schedule in-person visit at hundreds of One Medical offices for just $9 a month. Now you can do that thanks to a new program from Amazon for Amazon Prime members. Not only can you stream shows with Prime, but you can also get discounted healthcare
in select states and select cities. The actual
visit. So Now we've talked about this before. We talked about this last year. This is part of their ongoing healthcare enter into the healthcare business. But it's sort of cool. And I guess what I haven't really explored this is for snowbirds going down into the United States and needing access to healthcare. And is this if you had Amazon Prime, which I did anyway in the States, this might be a good thing for snowbirds. Just something to think
Yeah,
about.
for $100 a year.
Well, if you had, like, I had Amazon Prime anyway in the States because,
Yeah.
of course, I mean, I parcels delivered every day. So if I needed to go to a doctor or get something, then I mean, this might be a reasonable thing. Plus, you can pay for it per month. So if you're only down there for 3 months, you could sign up and boom, you could do it and get it. So I don't know, more information on that. I think it's interesting. Now this was very interesting article. This was, I don't know if you guys saw this. Verizon has a newly updated app to stop spam calls that can stop 42 billion unwanted calls. So if you have, it's free. Now there are some paid parts to it, but basically it's free. So if you do have Verizon cell phone service, probably want to get this app and download it and use it because it blocks spam calls. Like, I don't see any downside to this. Have you guys seen this, or what's going
Yeah,
on?
I saw the article, but I don't have Verizon. So.
I
Yeah.
also posted it, and
Do
there
you-
is no downside. If you have Verizon, install it. Get
Yeah.
rid of the spam stuff.
Yeah.
Now I have a Samsung phone and I'm on T-Mobile. The T-Mobile part doesn't matter, but the Samsung phone has something called Bixby, and
Uh-huh.
and they have a Bixby thing that you can just turn on, and if somebody calls me and I don't recognize the number and it doesn't say spam, I can push the Bixby button and then answer the call. When I do that, Bixby I think it's a female voice, will answer the phone for me and will say something to the effect, we're not sure who you are. Will you explain the purpose of your call? And when it speaks it to them. And then when they answer, it then puts it in text format and I can read what they're saying. And then I can decide whether I can push the button and answer their call or just let it go on and let it go to voicemail. It's
Cool.
really neat.
T-Mobile also has an excellent directly from T-Mobile to get rid of spam.
Yeah, I get a lot that just say the phone still rings, but when I look at it, it says spam likely or spam call, or there are several different responses that they have.
Bob, so this is about, I got to talk about CAPTCHAs for a minute. I tried to do one the other day for some security thing, and I failed 4 times in a row. I guess I'm not very bright, but can we have something other than a CAPTCHA to use?
Well, you missed one. I have an article. General Motors recalls 950 Cruise driverless vehicles. So they got to get better. This is another accident that happened with one of their driverless vehicles.
And I forgot what city it is, but they pulled their license for the whole city and took all of their cars off the road. And they've then caught them in some kind of information that they put out that wasn't true. So they're in serious trouble.
Yep.
So
And
what
next this is certainly easier than using CAPTCHA to verify that you are a real person. And they're now using emojis. And all you do is drag that little puzzle piece into the right spot. You'll notice there's 2 pieces. One of them matches that puzzle piece. The other one obviously doesn't. And when you drag it over and complete the picture by inserting it into that correct empty spot, then it identifies you as a real person, because a bot isn't going to be able to do that.
Is it easier than the other way? Because I find the other way so complicated.
Oh yeah, this is well, you see the shape here on the image that I took.
Yeah.
right? And you drag that into the corresponding empty space.
Okay.
Now, it's quite easy to see that the one on the far right doesn't match this piece at all.
Right.
And the one that you first come to, that's a match to the empty spot. So when you drag it and drop it, that's the end of it. And boom, it slides over and says, okay, you're verified.
Okay. Good one. Good one. Now this was interesting. Oh, yeah, this was really cool. So don't install an Android VPN if it doesn't have this badge. So Google, I think it's Google. Let me just see here. To help users with their privacy, Google Play Store now includes a prominent badge for MASA audited VPNs. While an independent audit doesn't guarantee that a VPN is secure, it proves that the app developer is following the basic privacy practice. And this is the ad that this is the, you'll see here that I guess you can't see my image, but it says independent security review, and it's right there, and that's a badge that you'll get with VPNs. That this is just something Google has started to do.
Does this guarantee that they don't collect any data?
I didn't read all the details about this, but the details are in that. I can't, obviously they have to. There's a certain standard that they have to meet, and if they meet that standard, then they get this badge. Oh, and now we got a question about this on last week's show? Do you remember, Ray, about WPS and connecting a printer? Wasn't that last week's show? Someone asked about WPS and connecting a printer.
I know we had that discussion. I don't remember if it was last week or not, but it was one of the easier ways to connect your wireless printer and the computer by using the WPS button that's on most newer routers.
Well, hold on. WPS is no longer WPS is of course a button that's on the back of routers that connects that allows you to connect the router to a device without actually putting the password for the network in. But that hasn't actually this is outdated technology and insecure and in fact, I didn't know this, but it hasn't been around as an option since Android 9. So it's an old technology and doesn't even exist anymore. And it is being replaced by Wi-Fi Easy Connect, which is part of the Android operating system. And so I thought, well, that was interesting. So for those of us who remember this a lot, WPS, it's no more. If you have a WPS on a router, it's old.
But will it still work?
No.
It won't work. Really?
No.
Yes, it is. I have a new router, and it has a WPS button.
Really?
To make connection for devices easier to my modem router combo. It is not on the phone. That part's correct. You don't have the button on the phone anymore, but you still have lots of those routers, modem routers combinations. Those are new ones that have.
And I'd be surprised if it stopped working. I mean, it's still useful that you don't have to actually go and remember what your password is, and because they're usually very lengthy and typed in unless you've changed it. But I think it still works.
Interesting. All right. Very interesting. Very interesting. Now
it simply applies to the Android phone, not having a WPS.
Okay. All right. This was interesting, Huey. Did you see that? I think. Did you?
I posted it.
You posted. Oh, you know what was funny about this? You posted the article, and then I read it like 10 minutes later, and I posted it, and I thought, why did I post it twice? And I looked, and I thought, this is weird. Why did this stupid computer?
It's just another example of great minds think alike.
That's right. Yeah. And it was Huey that posted. So, Huey, in honor of you, I deleted my post and not your post.
What a guy.
Oh,
what a
I am
guy.
so thankful of that.
What a
You
guy.
want to tell us about
Anyway,
This is cool.
StarTech's USB-C docking station gives me the 3-monitor Chromebook desktop I've been begging for. This was from ChromeUnbox.com, but it allows you to have multiple screens on a Chromebook. I'm wondering if it's. I've got to look into this more, because I have one of my plugs for my second monitor went dead on me, so I have to use a fairly expensive docking station. This might take the place of that, and that might be better for me.
Yeah, well, this is a new. I was really interested in this because it is a docking station for Chromebooks, and you can have 3 monitors. So it's great, and it works, There were other workarounds, but it never really worked that well. But they reviewed this and said this is great, it works. So if you want 3 monitors up and you got a Chromebook, this is a docking station that works with Chrome OS.
And I know we're about to end, but I do want to add something. I was able to find somebody who had an exact duplicate of my dead Chromebook, and they were looking to donate it somewhere, and so they're going to donate it to me, and I am going to have it shortly, so I will be back in the Chromebook business.
Chromebook business. Do we have any last comments before we leave?
No, actually, we're caught up.
Okay?
I guess we interested them so much that they just didn't write anything
We
down.
captivated everybody.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I want to thank
got one final one here. Just came in.
Good show as usual. Thanks, Dick Vogel. There you go. I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you so much for coming and listening to us yak away for about an hour. I think it was great. I had so much fun today. Those were really great articles. We were talking about some good stuff in there. So thanks everyone for coming and listening. Hit that like and subscribe. That'd be great for us. And we'll see you again next week. And listen to the panel today. Thank you for coming, Huey. It's always a blast.
It is.
And Bob, thanks again for keeping us honest and on a straight course. That's great. And Ray, always a pleasure to meet the nicest man alive.
Really, really glad to be here.
And Sheila says, thank you, everybody. And Sheila, we'll remember your name now for sure. We will. All right. We'll see. Oh, don't forget.
Bye, everybody.
Don't forget to drop by and see us on Monday on our Monday show, because it's going to be a great one. Okay. Bye.
And
now.
don't forget, Sunday is the WinSig.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay.
And I haven't sent out my newsletter yet with the link. So if you go to huey.net, sign up for my WinSig newsletter, and you'll get all the information that you need.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye now.
So long.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.